Hey guys, this is Melody Asani, and I'd like to introduce you to a small unknown artist that I love named Flea.
I was working on my shot.
Oh yeah, I bet you're getting great at basketball. I mean, you've always been great.
Well, thing is, when I was a kid, I never learned how to shoot properly. I always had this weird backwards inside out shot. And I finally decided at the ripe old age of 57 to abandon my foolish ways and learn how to shoot the ball properly. And Melody knows a woman who's a basketball coach, and she taught me how to shoot right. But I feel like I'm starting all over. But the great thing about getting old and starting all over is when you do something new, you get to have that feeling of learning to do something new and getting excited about it. I'll never understand when people get like, oh, I'm not good at it, I don't want to do it. It's the only thing that keeps me going is things that I'm not good at.
Thank you for that inspirational tidbit.
How come it took you so long to learn how to do it like this then, Flea?
Well, I think because for some reason, I just came from people learned how to do it when they were kids, and I kind of came from the school of weed at the park basketball, where I just never learned properly. It's the truth of the matter.
But you were still killing it in your own way.
Yes, I was worried about people and worried about like what's going to happen a little bit. But if I just stay in the moment, I love being home, and we're just so fucking lucky that we can be at home and have food to eat and a cozy spot to land. I feel a lot of empathy for the people that just can't, because a lot of people don't just live month to month with paychecks; they live day to day, Yeah. And people that are poor right now, I worry about them because just like having food every day and not getting evicted and, that.
And no, I really, really think it's important that the billionaires, like with multi-billionaires, like put a pool together and just make sure everyone's okay. The billionaires, not the millionaires, because they wouldn't be able to do that. But the billionaires should just put a couple bill each into a pool, a thing to make sure everyone's okay. It seems like such the right idea.
For sure. And I just wonder what millionaires can do too, or just people that can just spare like an afternoon to make sure a bunch of kids eat or something, I don't know. I hope that there's.
I saw a talk with Bill Gates yesterday, and he just gave $100 million for the vaccine.
Nice.
The process of making the vaccine for it. So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Bill Gates and Melinda they seem very active in helping humanity with their money, which I just love. And I just wish that for all the super wealthy,
There's a public school on my corner, and they are giving out lunches still to all of the kids and anybody in the community who needs it. And they're setting up every single day. And people are going to pick up lunches and stuff. I mean, I would like to see a world where those lunches are filled with like whole foods and nutritious, actually nourishing our bodies with, great food as opposed to the, chocolate milks and the Lunchables. But I feel like maybe this time in our world is a little bit about that, about sort of like breaking down what we've built up that is not working.
Yeah.
For the greater majority, it is not freaking working. And maybe this is a time where it's just like being dismantled from the universe is just going like, we're going to come in and level the playing field here, guys. And when you rebuild, let's rebuild with a more thoughtful foundation. That's my.
I love that. From your, what does Mom say? From your mouth to God's ears.
She also says, when I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. So
I do love it. She does say that. It's true.
When I want your opinion, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I know. That's Mom.
Yeah, no, it's cool to think about people having to sit still and be thoughtful for a little bit. I mean, I imagine a lot of people are really just kind of numbing themselves in this mind, like whether it's with drugs and alcohol or with video games and bad television. but a lot of people are being forced to, go into their interior and think about stuff. And there's a lot, definitely like optimistically, there's a lot of potential in the downtime for us to grow as people.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was what I was going to say, is like in times like this, when there is so much extreme collective stress and global, like, collective experience of fear, it is the time that we most have to create virtue and joy and dedicate it and offer it. Because, and just like you said, like, even no matter if you don't have money, like, how can we help, right? Like, everyone who's suffering. So it's such an important time to think in regard to all of us and how we're connected. And that's one thing that this virus is forcing us to do, because it doesn't discriminate. It's not a classist virus. It's not a racist virus. It's not a sexist virus, so everyone.
And it's global.
Yeah.
And it's global.
And it's
but
quite
it's
literally showing us how we are all connected, because
totally the lessons are profound. That said, and it doesn't discriminate in any way, but it's gonna, the poor people are gonna get fucked. I mean, it's like we're saying, like, people who can't afford to give up their jobs, and people who can't have the luxury, like, we're lucky we can all sit in our houses and like have the thoughtful time. But for a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of desperation and fear. So in that, and also, like, the government's just not they're gonna bail out, massive corporations and have the trickle down Reaganomics theory to, make sure the economy, that's their biggest fear, is that the economy doesn't continue to support the way that it is. But there's very little, like, the way that poor people are going to get help is through community activity. So I just hope that we can all be conscious about that. And, and
how do we lift that up and show that experience? Here we are and saying, like, expressing our gratitude for our great fortune and our privilege in order to walk through this, by being able to stay home, etc. And you're talking about the poverty stricken, it being incapable of doing that. So what can we do? Like, how can we show what is happening? Because I'm not seeing it. I can't see it. And I want to be able to see it, to be able to share it.
Yeah. I think that, like, for one, like what you were talking about, like, it's really cool that the public school on your corner is giving out food to kids. And also, like, in like, you're yearning, like, it would be cool if they were giving out more nutritious food, more conscious food that was really healthy for kids. So maybe, like, we get together and we think, okay, what are the food banks that do the best work, that really help people and that are conscious about food too? Because they exist. There are people that have structures that immediately help people in less fortunate, less privileged communities. So, that's something that we can do ourselves, is like research and figure it out and give what we can. Like, you can give $50 or you can give, $10,000, whatever, like, you can give $10, whatever it is, you know what I mean? If you're capable of helping, there are ways to do it,
Okay, we're gonna. I might hit you up for some for like a vegan food truck situation that's hitting some food deserts.
Yeah, I'm gonna look and see.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it. Too bad we can't have like a car that drives itself, a truck that drives itself.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can, because we're trying to maintain social distancing and keeping people off the.
I mean, think about, like, a really cool way, like a really cool thing to start would be that, like, make a vegan food truck that it's free.
Yeah.
Donate to hire chefs and get food and have it stocked full every day, driving around just giving out food.
Yep. Well, we know quite a few vegan chefs that had to close their brick and mortar doors. And, their catering company for now, for good reason, for the safety of everything, but are in a situation, an untenable situation with their business. So we've been thinking of things like that too. Like, how can we just like help at least get them working and free food for people in like you said, less privileged circumstances.
Yeah, that's such a great idea. I remember when
I think I stole it from Joaquin. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I think you may have. Yeah, that's good for us for giving
I mean,
kudos.
even like now, like it's like you say, like it's like thinking about now in the Corona situation. So we're thinking of these ideas, but these are ideas that are always important. You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like that would be a really great thing if we put our heads together and figured out that truck. Like I'd be down, I'd pitch in, you know, and have it like it just goes, you know, to neighborhoods where people need food every day and gives out food. I remember like when I was, you know, starting this music school in Watts, and I was talking to one of my friends who grew up in Watts when he was a kid, and he said when he was a kid there in the 60s, the Black Panthers every day, him and his brother would go to where the Black Panthers were, and they gave him food. And they had a line of people all day long, and they just gave out free food every day. That's what they did, you know?
Yeah, like the Hare Krishnas on college campuses around the country, right? Around the world for decades have been doing that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I think we should do it.
I'm on it, guys.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I'm going to go shoot baskets, but if you guys want to do that, I'm in.
All right. We'll do it.
Melody, Asani, Flea.
Melody, Asani.